Welcome to Excellence in Excel, and in this video we're going to focus on how we can give the customer the right price. So we have now everything, and this is of course a far easier way to find the answer here for any package, because basically if you want to know what's the price for a customer who will travel on the 16th of January, then you would be able to say, that is $110. And if they would say, I want to travel on the 19th of January, well, you say, that is $130. So that's nice. However, scrolling through all these data here is just tiring. There should be a better way, and of course, yes, there is a better way. So how are we going to do that? Well, it's very simple. What we're going to do is we're going to start match up specific things here. And what we really need here is our second sheet. And in here, we're going to make like our price or quotation finder. We will search for the right price depending on the package that the customer wants. So let's start with that. So first of all, I'm going to increase the size here. You can see this will be more bigger. All right. And in here, we can just put in a few things. So basically, what we need to know is we need to know how many days a customer travels. So do they want the 4 days or 3 days? Yes. So it should be how many days. Yes. And what we need to know as well is the travel date. We have the travel date, what we can call our onward date, and return date. And then once we know, of course, our travel date, we also need to know the amount of people. So I'll say here, I'll use some travel agency jargon. We call them packs, total packs. All right. So we've got everything here. How many days? The how many days we can calculate based on the travel date here. So I will going to insert this one. Let's put it down here. So that will make more sense. I'll just remove this. All right. So here we get now all the answers. So question number 1, the travel date. So what is the travel date? The travel date is when the customer is traveling and returning. So if we know that the customer says, well, we want to go on, let's say, 22 January 2017, and we want to return back on the 25th of January 2017. How many days is that? Well, there's a way to do that, but this is not the 100% correct way. I'll show you why. So you do this, the highest value minus your lowest value, then you see 3. So is this really 3? So if you say, well, is this 3, yes or no? Depending on how you look at it. So let me explain. So I'm going to show you some more deeper things so you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. So you see these values. Excel changes the values basically on days. Yes, or a day have a number, and every day that increases it has a number. So let me show you. If I type in here comma, you will see here these are the numbers. Yes, in Excel this is the number, and you can see this number is 42,757. That equals this day. And how did Excel figure this out? Well, very simple. Excel says the first day of January, the 1st of January 1900 equals to 1. So you can see that if we do this, and I say in comma here, this is exactly 1, as you can see here. So that matches here all. So this is just the reason why. So at least you have some background information. However, it doesn't matter so much. What does matter is that since you can see these are just two values of 42,757 and here 42,760. So if you do this minus that, you also get 3. But it's not true, because if you look at this, I'm going to specify it in a specific month. You say this, okay, 23, 24, 25, right? So what will happen here, basically it's 4 days, 3 nights. Yes. So if you say how many days here, maybe you can say here how many days, and then you can say this plus 1, or you say, well, let's make it easy, just make it how many nights, because our nights are really impacting. So if you say how many nights, in that case this is fine. But if you are talking about how many days, plus 1 when you deduct these days from each other. If not, you get a conflict of a day that's missing. Very important to remember, especially in the travel industry. Alright, so we have this now, we know these things now. So we have the information, we know how many people as well, let's say 2 people. So the question is now, they're asking, alright, can you give me the price of this? So how much is this? So how do we do this? Well, simple. We can right now, based on this, we can already make a VLOOKUP, right? So we're going to make a VLOOKUP function, and this one is with multiple sheets. So we're going to select here, this is our lookup value. Yes. Once we have this, then we can start to search in here. Go to sheet number 1, and then in here, we're going to use this entire list here. I just say this, but going down. Does this get everything? I think I'm missing the add button here. Yeah, alright. So here in instantly we'll get everything if you press the right button. We have this now, you say comma, so we have now our table, our lookup value. For some reason our lookup value just disappeared. So we're going to have, I'll fix that later on, that's not a problem. So what I will do is I'll just copy this exact value here. Why I'm doing that? Because that's our table array, and later on we can just select the lookup value wherever it was, because I don't know exactly where it was. So once we did that, what's the column index number? So you can see now we have a huge column here, and you can see our VLOOKUP is in here as well. Later on we can just adjust that. However, what is the value we need? We have here the package rate for the, so we have say here, we can say now, if this is the first column, 1, 2, 3, 4. So column number 4, comma, and now we say, okay, is it a range lookup, yes or no? In this case, we have exact match because every date is being specified. So I'm saying no. So it's not a range lookup, it's exact match, meaning 22 January is also in that huge list. Yes, that is. And 23 January as well. So every date is specifically indicated in there. So in that case, everything is correct. I want to enter, and then you see maybe there will be an error. Yes. The reason why is we need to select this as our lookup value. So I'm going to click here again. I'll just remove this. I don't know exactly what happened. It just jumped here. Yes. However, we can just select this one, and if we do this now, you can see here 110 is being the result. Okay, done, and let's close this. All right. So now we have this. So how much, and then of course here total price. Yeah, so if you want to know, okay, how much is the total price? Well, very simple. Total price is this multiplied by that. And then you get the real value here. So I'm going to put this in a nice list here. This give it a slightly more appealing touch and make this bold. So now we have this, and now you might say, okay, this is interesting, but this is not really good. Because what happened now, if our customer says, well, I want to go only from 23 to the first of 23 January 2017 and 25 January here. So now you say, well, this is our rate. You say, no, this is not our rate because we have a different rate for the 3 days and 2 nights package. What we really need to do here is we need to make sure that Excel can identify under which category it is. And once it knows the category, it can search for the right table. And that's what we're going to do in the next video. Then we're going to finalize this by making sure that Excel can understand exactly where it needs to get the value. So if you like videos like this, check out the link below. In there you can find wonderful Excel tips in our advanced course for Excel. And it's free to sign up, so no worries at all.